Good day, folks. 3 in the afternoon on day 5 of our trip, and we did not make it all the way across Biscayne Bay. We made it just south of, where are we at? We're a little south of Dinner Key.
This is Homestead area.
Okay. And winds due straight out of the east, and too strong for us to sail with, and so we're posted up here in a little cut that's actually the trailhead of a little local kayak trail in the neighborhood that goes up into the dog park. And there's the opening, so we're anchored up, and just out there is some, I don't know if you can hear it, but the waves are just rolling and crashing brutal. Last night was the worst night by far of anything. Almost, I want to say almost the scariest thing I've ever done in a canoe, because, but I'd say there was one other night that was probably a lot hairier, simply because there was a lot longer distance before I got to safety, where I was getting swamped. But last night we caught some winds, rollers, and people were throwing a lot of wakes too that was adding to it. And every few once in a while we were getting hit with these waves broadside that were just steady swamping us. And we could not make it against the current to get into the channel last night. We were trying to get in out of the rough, and um, broke my rule of thumb again. Regret breaking my everyday rule of thumb is always set up camp before dark. We kept pushing on. We misjudged the time. We didn't have our electrical systems right, and didn't have, what was it really? We just didn't. We lost service. We were so far out, and lost track of where we were and what our timing. The tides came in and pushed us further north, and lost a little of the time we had made getting south. Um, Actually, quite a bit of it coming back across the bay to the other side. So, lesson learned. We both learned some valuable lessons and about this bay and how the flows work. But the worst part of it is, we spent the night pretty wet camp. I was in here with me and the dog under here wrapped in that sleeping bag that's up there drying right now because it was soaked. But luckily, not luckily, but by design, we got this material that stays warm in your body if you freaking just get under it even when you're wet. It doesn't have down feathers, it has a synthetics, and it'll trap body heat. And especially if you can wrap a tarp over it, it'll really trap your body heat in and keep you warm in spite of being wet. And you can wake up the next day a little salty, but still none the worse for the wear. And here we got Georgia laying out on the deck, just sunbathing and staying warm in the rays. And the breeze is blowing pretty good, keeping us cool. I got my sunbrella up. And we've had coffee, and we're having oatmeal and raisins with cinnamon in the woods here. Uh, the coolest thing, we're in this little cut here, and this morning we were greeted by a shark that came up right up here alongside, and then I kind of motioned at it, and it took off, backed up the other way, decided it didn't want to bother with us. It was a little one. And then earlier, I'd say, about 20 minutes ago, I saw a little gator or croc or caiman. I'm not sure. It was one of a crocodilian reptile. It was definitely not these iguanas that are out here. It was much. It was about 4 feet long, and he was just cruising along this shore when I saw him right about there, and followed him about to there. He was just trying to hide on the shore and be as inconspicuous as possible and not be noticed. Try to just get by us to get out to the open without being noticed. You can go out and do some fishing today. There's been some pretty big fish coming through. We're not doing any fishing these days. I think this area is actually restricted from fishing. I don't know. So I'm not gonna mess with it because we're not starving, obviously. And I'm making a second pot of espresso. Oh, it's just starting to brew on my little homemade stove I got here, my little micro stove, which fits in my old flare case. I can fit that in there, and the only thing is that I got this ceramic plate that doesn't fit in there. But man, I take this little setup and I have some little steel mesh that I wrap in there and put one of those burners in there, and I can run whatever fuel, preferably alcohol. But I can flip this over and also, you know, cook with some sticks and wood. It's got holes in it all around, as you can see. And right now I'm just cooking on a chafing burner. It's got a wick and it'll wick up alcohol. It's got a good fiberglass wick, so it lasts and lasts. You just got to modify the top a little bit so that it'll let you refill it. And I got my food stored under there. My personals in sealed bins. Some grains and different situations in there. The tarp draped over. That's because we haven't been to land in a bit, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna need to cop a squat at some point before we can make it to land. So I want to have her up there on the poop deck, and hopefully she eventually gets comfortable enough to poop up there, and I'll just tell her it's okay, so she'll know that that's okay to poop there. She knows it's not okay to poop here because she'll be sleeping there, and she sleeps there. And so this is where our legs go at night when we sleep. Oh, that coffee smells good. And this is just one of the most peaceful times ever. We hear an occasional plane pass over or a boat go by or something with a diesel engine. And oh, there was a couple of a paddleboarder and kayaker that passed through here from outside going in, and they greeted us, and probably some locals. They were kind of wondering, oh, what's going on in there? They didn't know if it was cool. They're like, wow, what is that? There's some. It's like some little sailing, and there's someone on it. What are they doing over there? And I yelled hello. They came over and saw what we're up to, and told them where we're from and where we're headed, and how that. And they, oh, that's really cool, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna get back on with my coffee and breakfast. And man, I wish I had some GoPro camera. Last night was such an insane night that I just wish I had the battery power to just keep a GoPro going 24/7. And I only have one GoPro battery, and it lasts a total of maybe 20 minutes. So I'm not going to be breaking it out unless I specifically see something going on that's worth, or you know, some underwater footage or whatever, or in the rain type of thing. anyhow, so I just thought I'd let you see how our day has gone. We've been up here all morning cleaning up, reorganizing, and getting our boats better balanced. I was a little nose heavy last night, which led to me getting swamped a lot but now I'm just a little slightly up on the bow. I got the majority of my water weight back here behind center now. So that's changed the balance of the boat. It should fly a little better now too. I'm really happy with the way this thing has served so far. But of course, if I had time and money, and I would have done things a lot better, a lot differently. I would have had this deck just a little higher. The deck she's on is sitting 2 inches higher than this one, and ideally this would be another 2 inches higher, and all this would be shaped like an airplane wing or a hydrofoil rather than a wind catching 2x4. I got these 2x4s catch a lot of wind, and you can actually sail quite a bit on what the wind they're catching. Yesterday the wind was so strong that we didn't use our sails. It was ripping that mast down, and I didn't even try because I knew it was just a little too much. By the time I saw what he was going through when he started putting his up and how fast I was going, like, nah, we just sailed on our wings, on the wind that the wings caught, and rode the surf. And most of the way it was just, wow, really strong. So anyway, day 5 of our canoe sailing adventure to the Keys, from Hollywood, Florida to the Keys, to points beyond. And signing off, you guys have a great day.